the captain received a grievous wound in the last episode. In fact, a man-o-war, which was a kind of a jellyfish that possessed, so to speak, a corpse of a drowned sailor, used a cutlass and cut him open pretty badly. Fortunately, Celine, just as if she was on autopilot, as if she just did this all the time and didn't even need to be there or think about it, wink wink, was able to step in nearly at the last moment and at least stabilize him. This means that the ship's not really limping into port. The ship didn't receive much damage, though. Some of the sailors are injured. Some of the crew, or the crew and the passengers, have received some injuries, and well, there's been a couple deaths too among the crew and the passengers, and notably, there's a portly gentleman who was having some gastrointestinal problems before he met his end. And that was the father to the portly child, who was running a series of fetch quests for the PCs. Now, it wasn't too much longer. You are going to be pulling into a place called Northport, and you're doing it at night. So everyone, the sailors under the first mate, have now come to knock on your doors or shake you in your hammocks or otherwise spread the word. All of you are to be ready, get your things. We need to be orderly. And especially because we have, not only do we have cargo that is precious and needs to be unloaded quickly, but there are now also bodies that must be unloaded quickly. And there's a certain protocol among the longshoremen in order to be able to do so and process that. So imagine, if you will, with a little bit of visual help, the moon is high. And we are going to be pulling into, or coming up into Northport. There are lights, dotting the coast, dotting the coast as you're getting closer. And you can see that many of the ships are also alight. And from a good number of them, it does sound as if the sailors are still aboard. Some are rocking with the waves. Some, maybe some smaller ships, are rocking from some more intimate activity. There's a lot of sea shanties and bawdy rhymes being told. And specifically for those of you who might not ever have been to Mesomasca, there is a unique species of bird called a glasswing. And what's interesting about them is their bodies are almost transparent. The light from the sky, they have form. They're not truly invisible, but at night they are dark things with pale eyes as the moonlight kind of shines through them, and you can see a little bit of their vascular system, but they're dark. During the day, they look a little bit more like seagulls, maybe a lighter blue, as the bright light shines through them, and they're kind of whites and blues. And these are a species of bird that have developed in Mesomasca, and more specifically around the northern point, and there could be a reason for that, given the unique nature of the northern port of Mesomasca, which all of you from the region would be aware has a kind of a reputation for things not always leaving the same way that they came in. Oh, Rogue Infinity. Yes, don't you worry about that. So here you are. You are in Northport. Even though it is nighttime, there are still workers that are going about their business on the docks. As you can see in the picture, there are people who are standing around not working, or if they are, they're not doing labor, but they are otherwise planning, scheming, paying, or arranging this, that, or the other. There are little harbor ferries that are going hither and thither. And as you're coming up and the ropes are being thrown to the people working the dock, all of you are told that if you stay aboard the ship and you stay aboard this section of the port, you do not have to wear a mask. However, if you exit, effectively, if you exit the port area, then you will be required to wear a mask by Mesomascan law, as you are inside a municipality of a certain size. And as this area, actually, you are entering the capital, the capital of the northern region, known as the Masque of Flowers, or as it is pronounced in Infernal, Hanakak Dukmai. Questions, comments, concerns. I read you box text, but it's up to you to make the rest of the scene come alive by your interaction with it.
So, I'm totally not going to remember that Infernal name, but Masque of Flowers, I'll keep that one in mind.
There you go.
My mask, however, is not very flowery, not at all.
Well, that is not a requirement. In fact, let's. Why don't we add a role play to this as well? We will have some sort of an officer sailor, not the first mate nor the captain, but as he's marching down the line, like all of you as passengers are lined up along one of the rails, and he's telling you some cultural tidbits and asks you what questions you have.
So, this mask. I mean, I do have one, but it doesn't need to be flowery, does it? I don't particularly do flowers.
Present it. Let me see.
She'll present a mask. It's very, very simple, very, very minimalistic. There's no mouth. There's very little shaping. But it's made of white porcelain, very and with it, it's got painted black lines across it in some kind of ritualistic fashion, in dedication to her god, and especially at night, if the light strikes her face just right, it could make her look exceedingly intimidating.
Is it a full face mask, like a full, or is it just top up, or are you just covering your nose and chin?
It's a full face.
Okay. So long as at least half your face, whether it's left, right, up, or down, is covered, then that's kind of the bare minimum. All right, but you have a full face, no mouth, but eyes, correct?
Yes, there are eyes.
Okay.
With it on and her hood up, Celine could very easily be mistaken in the wrong light as a specter of death.
Okay. Aye, this'll pass. It's a little fancy, and if you get knocked about, that porcelain will sure break. I've seen my fair share. Oh, you fancy lot come here, and you have these fancy masks and your fancy balls. Well, you might just get your balls broken, if you know what I mean.
I wouldn't say fancy, but I got this, and he pulls out like half a cow. He pulls off like the top half of a cow skull. I got this.
Wear it. I'll check ya. Describe yourself. Describe yourself as you're wearing the mask.
Alright, so like the entire top half of his like this snout and all that is covered, and it's just like this cow skull with like horns off to the side of it. He's got little eye holes so you can see, of course.
So you have a little bit of a dragonborn snout and your lower jaw poking out. What kind of frills, or you know how in a lot of the official art, the Dragonborn almost have like these spines / dreadlock looking hair like features.
Yeah.
How do you wear your spines, your frills, your whatever you have?
Most of them are on like the back, like it's kind of like a mohawk.
Is it sticking up through a slot in the cow skull?
Yes.
Okay. Well, hopefully you don't end up like the one who gave you the skull. This should pass muster in town, though. It might attract some attention. Not a lot of people wear bone like that. I'm not saying you'll find it. Well, you could if you go looking, and I can tell you where to find it, too.
You're funny.
Oh, what about you, little one? I see you down there. Oh, your pretty locks are shining in the moonlight. How do you intend to cover them up?
As everybody has been showing their masks, I've just been shaking my head with great disappointment. I'm going to say, don't any of you know what masks are for? Masks are for come as you aren't, not come as you are. So then I take out my mask, and it looks like an orc, like a genuine full-blooded orc, complete with fangs and tusks, and hold it up to my face. And then I'll have, of course, pink hair sticking out from the sides.
Is it like a paper? Is it like a paper mache mask? Is it carved wood or what? It's I'm sorry, your audio cut out. It's wood.
I would.
Okay, there we go.
And
Got it. Okay.
it'll be painted green for the orcishness.
Sure. He looks at you. Oh, I like you. Oh, you know, it's so rare sometimes to see unique masks like that. You know, there's vendors, and you could have even bought a mask aboard our ship, but to see something like that, it brings a chuckle to me. Oh, you'll pass, little one. You'll pass.
Anything that makes you happy makes me happy.
Oh, Missy, you don't want to know what makes me happy. That might make you sad.
No reaction to that. No reaction to that.
So you're saying, be what you're not, and this skull is dead, and I'm alive.
Fair enough. Although, somewhat speaking, Missy, you didn't fall overboard and we dragged you up the side, huh? Your hair's all kind of a tangle, and what do you intend on doing once you leave the docks?
For
oh
someone...
no, well no, I'm sorry. He's slinking over to Jade.
That's screwed up. My mistake.
No, that's fine.
Jade ends up carrying what is a grieving mask, part of her own family's lineage. It is something she's carried mostly to remember family. It's important to remember family in this place. The bottom of her face is covered in a skeletal grin, a tradition, of course, to remind and smile of the good times. You know, no one frowns at a funeral after all. Don't think, no, shut up. She looks at the man and pulls it up a little bit higher to illustrate it, and yet her hair covers a good portion of it. Perhaps it is tradition that her hair qualifies as a mask. Maybe that's something she hasn't left behind.
One crit wonder, by the way, thank you for noticing us again with your resubscription for 3 months. Senpai has noticed us. The sailor looks down at you, Jade. Well, if we're talking about what she is and what she ain't, I have to ask then, is you happy or is you dead?
Depends when you ask.
Well, I'll tell you, this, he leans in kind of close. You know, there's a bit of a rumor, speaking of which, and actually, this is something that I've been careful about spreading, but there's been some rumors that some of the dead ain't been staying dead. Not here in Northport. No. In fact, there might be... Well, you know, there's a type that bites you, and it sucks your blood. It doesn't so much go for the muscle, nor the bone, nor the brain. No, they're just after your blood.
No. That's crazy talk. The dead stay dead. They have to stay dead. They stay dead!
Well, I sure hope so. Anyone we commit sure stays dead, and if they ain't, they're getting crushed at the bottom of the sea. But I can't tell you what goes on after the coffin's been unloaded here at ports. And actually, at that, he looks over, and you actually see that one of the dead, there's one of the passengers who died. Looks like they're kind of wrapped up in a shroud, and some sailors are starting to unload some cargo, and you can see a wrapped up body being taken out of the cargo hold. And you, sir, or should I say, Captain, eh? and he kind of gives you the elbow, like, you put in some work there, and I have no doubt that the captain will reward you as such. What kind of a mask do you have? Just because you're a tiefling don't mean that you can't get away with hiding your face.
Ah, damn then.
I guess. And he's gonna look around in the pouch that he has, and he pulls out what seems to resemble a thieves' mask in a way. It covers the bottom portion of the mouth and slightly of the nose, and it has a hood that wraps over.
Okay,
And,
so you have the kind of triangular bandana on your lower face.
yeah, with a scarf and a hood that hangs over it.
Oh, okay. Almost like let's see, almost
You know
like a desert nomad, kind of like it wraps around
Yes.
and comes up. Okay, gotcha. Does it have a particular pattern, or is it just a mute black?
No, it's just a mute black.
Okay.
And he goes, well, I guess I do have this. Well, then gambling back in the other city. This work?
No, a gambler is ya? Well, you know you don't have to depart the ship if you don't want. But, well, given the circumstances, well, if you're looking for a game, you know where to find one. I think your mask will work. It's cheap. It's efficient. You can use it in different circumstances. It sure won't break as Miss Pretty's porcelain mask over here will. I tell you what.
All right.
And he so he goes through. He checks some others because down the rail, some other sailors are kind of doing the same rigmarole. They're checking masks. So he goes through, checks about, I don't know, 6 others. I don't know. We'll call it a half dozen. And he comes back and he stands in front of the group. Which I don't know if any of you have been on a cruise ship. Have any of you been on a cruise ship before?
No.
I have.
Okay. Well, if you haven't, or if you have, then I think you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, what they do before the ship departs is they get people kind of in clusters, and they'll put them in front of a lifeboat and give a little presentation on, hey, this is your group. This is how you evacuate if something happens, blah, blah, blah. So, like, you've been broken up into groups similarly, and a sailor is addressing you. So he checks other masks. Someone else has said, well, if you don't have a mask, we can sell you one, but you can't leave the port like that. And, the person protests, and I don't make the rules. Anyway, a little bit of back and forth. You're getting a little bit more flavor, which we can enhance should your character have a specific question. But I think you get the drift that outside of the port district, which of course is, lots of coming and going, cargo being offloaded, etc. You do need a mask by law in Masque of Flowers, in Masque of Flowers proper. Now, before you go, any other questions of me? This may be your only chance to learn something that could save your life or help get you underway again.
You
Yeah.
were speaking about the dead rising from their graves, yes?
Oh, that's the rumor, anyway.
Tell me, if they were very much worried about an undead incursion, why not just burn the bodies?
Well, there's all kinds of people that have all kinds of taboos and preferences. Plus, you get blokes like this one over here with the black mask. They don't burn so easy now, do they? And he points over to Raphael.
That is very true, but as a friend of mine who I knew once said, if you can't burn it with fire, just add more fire.
Well, you better be watching out. Most of the port and most of the city's been built by wood and stone, and, well, there's all the flowers and the fields and all that other nature crap that's around. No, give me the sea, a sea what can't be set ablaze, nor a wooden ship upon which cremation would be quite improbable. I can't tell you why. I can only tell you that it's been happening somewhat recently.
That if it's happening recently, then there must be a cause. However, I don't feel the need to investigate. That's a little bit above my pay grade, I think.
What you do when you leave this ship ain't none of my concern. Any other questions? Speak up.
Well,
Speak up.
Are there any people or places that we should avoid while in this perimeter?
Plenty. Next.
Do you want to?
I have 2 questions. First, we have just some practical needs. We're going to need a place to stay, and I'm looking for someone specific who I hope is in this town.
Oh, plenty of places to stay. Though the question is, how many copper, silver, gold do you have to rub together? What you looking for?
We're not that wealthy. That's why we're on your ship.
Oh wow.
He takes a moment, just kind of like gazing up at the moon, scratching his cheek. He's trying to chew on this. Yeah, well, and he doesn't want to seem stupid in front of you, but he's still doing an excellent job of it, as you kind of caught him in a pinch. Yeah, well, I hear that many people who sail aboard the Llewellyn's Gamble, they stay at a place called the Tumbled Wench. I'd recommend that. That seems to be a good popular place for our patrons.
Can you give us directions?
Oh, certainly. And directions have been bestowed upon you.
Okay. Anyone in the town who would help find a particular person?
Oh, well.
Nothing nefarious. Just looking for someone who doesn't necessarily want to avoid being found. Just someone, an author.
An author? Oh, yeah, one of them peoples that writes down words. Oh, well, I couldn't tell you that. Mostly because I can't read. Sometimes I crack myself up. She gets it, eh? She gets it. Yeah. Well, you know what? I can tell you this. There's going to be plenty of people with all kinds of words knocking around in their heads. Anyone out this late at night? That's the trouble that the big boy over here is looking for. See those people over there? And he points over. It's like the two that are, the two that are kind of talking. One of them smoking a pipe. Oh, nasty business that. I don't even need to know what they're talking about. It's probably nasty business. No. Wait until the sun comes up. Because not only will you not have to worry about dead bodies rising up to get you, but, well, that's when the marketplace opens and all other manner of places. The decent folk come out during the day. It's only the indecent ones you gotta worry about at night.
Decent folk. Still waters.
No still waters around here. Nice big perfumey river. You could probably even smell it above the harbor. Oh, all kinds of flowers flow into it. Which, speaking of which, I hope none of you get the sneezes around certain plants. That could send people into fits. I've seen it before. Oh, they double over. Poor person. Fell into the harbor sneezing so hard.
They remind me of home.
There we go, looking on the bright side of life.
Not home.
All right. Come on now. Everyone move, and at that you hear several whistles, kind of like the was it the oh I got the word for it the other night. Oh, the bosun signal, right? That kind of a thing. In attention that the sailors kind of snap up, and everyone living starts shuffling off of the boat with their with whatever personal kind of their overhead bin contents. And their carry-on items that they have. Now, you all are actually stopped before it's your turn to disembark down the gangplank. And you are summoned over to the captain's quarters. And once inside, I'm presuming none of you are resisting going. Okay. Inside, you see the tiefling captain. He's bandaged up he doesn't necessarily look like he's. I mean, he's not on the brink of death, but he's not doing the best. He motions you over, kind of coughs. Oh, that hurts. Closer. Here. Had to tell you something before you left. You stepped up. You stepped up where others didn't, and you helped protect cargo and crew alike. I respect that. The Lully Gamble's been sailing the waters of Mesotopia for quite a while, and we have a good reputation to uphold. Oh, that said, I don't know where you're going. Okay. I think things are back in place. Give me 3 days to flip my cargo and to get a payment. You come back to the Lully Gamble in 3 days, and I'll make sure you get paid for your service, alright? Don't refuse me either. This is a captain's order, and you've been temporarily made the crew. Oh, nope, there it goes. Anyway, you understand me?
Aye, Captain.
I don't think we can really refuse that. I don't think we have a choice in the matter.
Okay. Now, if you just reach over, I have a note over here. Just grab it off. There we go. That's good for at least a bit of a discount over at the Tumbled Wench. It has my signature. I know the proprietor. You may not ever meet the man, but he's a good man, and his management staff know my mark. That'll be able to get you accommodation rather cheap. So I understand, look, it's a nicer place as far as, well, places like that go. It's the least I could do. Okay, no problem, Fluffy. Take care of what you got to take care of.
Well, Captain, I'm most assured that they will enjoy accommodations. Thank you for your hospitality.
Yes. Oh, and thank you for your everything you did, whatever it may have been, ma'am. Ma'am, right? You're a ma'am?
Yes. That's what they would have said. Yes. Old man. What happened to the old man? Warrior below deck, sickly, ill, coughs up moths that won't stop flittering.
Oh, anyone who is sick, or even those who might have been a victim, they'll probably be held in either a quarantine or they'll be held by the Port Authority for examination or for reconnection back to family or other kin.
Family reconnection. Yes. Oh, that will do. Thank you very much, Captain.
If the man was sick and lived, he'd be in quarantine, which might be where I'd go. Though if he died, he'll be held in the morgue.
No, not the morgue. Not for him. Not for him.
So I don't know whether to be more concerned about you or the lady whispering about.
Don't be concerned about me. It's, this stuff happens all the time when you're a captain. You have to stand up for what you believe in and who you lead and who you are and what you mean to other people. I'd take a slice in the belly any day for the lot of you, even though I don't know any of you.
For the more simple-minded, 'tis only a flesh wound.
Oh, gods. Would that were to be the case.
Well, in my case, it'd be scale wound, but you get the gist.
You still have flesh, Dragonborn.
Now, unless there's anything else you need of me, you're welcome to walk down that plank.
I think some land is a good idea.
Yes. Get on that. And no good with the sea legs, none. No.
He from his bed he's kind of like wincing and he waves and oh yep that shifted and the door closes behind you and you all you make your way now. You're the last ones to depart Lely Welland's Gamble. And as you do, you notice that these two figures, the one who was smoking a pipe and the ones that were, the ones that were conversing, are gone. Although, I'm sorry, I normally have the, that was the one thing I forgot to open up was your all's, there we go. Let's bring this over so I'm not spoiling anything for the rest of you. Oh, no. Oh, it's not the right document. Okay, that's fine. What are your all's passive perceptions? I have it on a document. I'll get it for the second half of our broadcast, but...
12. Jade has a 12.
12.
15.
Okay. Tazray Bright?
Sorry. 10.
10 for me.
Okay. 2 12s, 2 10s, and a 15. So Celine, you are going to notice as you are walking down the gangplank, there's still all kinds of sounds coming from everywhere. You have these dark birds with moonlight glowing in their eyes, these transparent birds, these glass-like birds. You have song, you have sounds of, we'll just call it romance. You also have, grumbles and the creaking of ships and the lapping of water. Now, you do look over, and there seems to be a bit of a quarrel going on between some people who are dressed as longshoremen and those who are dressed in... Make a history at advantage.
That'll be an 11.
An 11. That's the... Oh, I'm sorry. That was for Celine, because she's the one noticing. Well, actually, hang on. You have you're a half elf. You have dark vision.
Yes, it is.
In addition, it's black and white. We'll say this. So they're quarreling with two sailors who do appear to be armed. Of all the ships that are coming and going, especially with Lely Welland's Gamble, anyone who's helping to unload, be it a sailor from the ship or a longshoreman who's taken over the cargo, there's no real friction except a couple docks down. And you do just notice that it looks like, I don't know, someone's getting surly, they're arguing about something. It's a port. This, you have the crush of humanity all around you. But you do notice this as you're walking down the gangplank.
Alright. I would like to expend a spell slot, because I just picked up a new one. I'm going to expend a spell slot, and I'm going to cast Sanctuary on myself. Targeting myself as a... Oh, it's a bonus action even. Well then. And then I would like to approach them.
Okay. Celine, for the rest of you who are walking down, and I don't know necessarily what you intend on doing. The sailor indicated you could sleep in a doorway if you really want to. But Celine is breaking off and not heading further into the port area, but is traveling, parallel to the water along the docks. So that being said, what are the rest of you intending to do?
If I hadn't had to go tend to the dog, I would have asked the captain about the boy, and if he had other family on the boat, and if not, if the captain knew what his purpose was.
He was so anyone who is sick is going to be held in quarantine, and anyone who might have been affected or killed is going to be not held in quarantine, but the Port Authority will hold on to them and contact the next of kin in order to make whatever arrangements. So presumably the portly child is going to be held by the Port Authority in this regard, while his father's going to the morgue, and the old man is going to quarantine.
That's good. So we don't have to worry about them.
Presumably not. The sailors are shuffling them to their respective locations.
Well, I'm okay with following Celine.
Okay.
That was also going to be my plan.
I was going to look for a bar.
Okay.
You know what? That's more than I want to go with Raphael.
Okay, so Tazray and Raphael are going to. If you wish to go, the Tumbled Wench does it has a fully functional bar. Or if you're looking more for a dive, like a really seedy place, or if you're looking for a very high-end place, those exist as well. Jade, what are you doing?
Jade is following the one that gives life. It makes all the sense in the world to end up doing that, especially in a place right now where the dead walk and thirst. Is follow that which brings life. That's safe. Okay.
So then, Tazray and Raphael, or rather, if Raphael is taking the lead and Tazray is following, in a way, you guys are almost like brothers in arms, even though you're not necessarily. Raph, what kind of a place are you looking for?
Looking for more of a rundown, just like a back end bar.
Okay. Something like that can be found rather easily, especially here in the port area. So you'll walk into a place called the Surly Girl. And there's no minstrels playing, and there's any of the chatter is from people who are kind of huddled around a table. A couple people are playing some sort of a game. It's rather hushed. There's not a lot of light. The place smells, and you found yourself a bit of a rundown tavern to a watering hole. Now, while you two are in there, the other three, Celine, you have two people who are peeling off and following you.
Okay.
Are you accepting of your of these others, or are you want to shake
Yes,
them? What do you want to do?
They can follow me if they sit as that. I'm going to slip on my mask as I approach them too. Because I'm going to go for the entire specter of death look and maybe, intimidate them into stopping.
Okay. As you're approaching, the three of you do hear an argument. And it seems to be about the prices of the service to load and unload cargo. And now that you're getting close, actually with Jade and Bright following Celine, Bright, we'll stick with your history. As you're getting close, you recognize the uniforms of the men who are arguing with the longshoremen of Mesomasca here as sailors or other agents of the Shadowheart Empire, which is the rumored to be invading empire to the northeast. You've seen Mesotopia as a region has seen a lot more trade, But also, if you believe rumors, you know, if not piracy, then at least they are seizing merchant ships. They are imposing various trade and diplomatic sanctions. They're making some overt and, again, depending on, you know, your tinfoil hat, covert moves in the Mesotopia region. And especially Mesomasca notwithstanding, as both the Shadhar Empire and Mesomasca are heavily populated by both humans and tieflings. In this case, it does appear that Imperial sailors are arguing with longshoremen. You're looking at their uniforms, and sure enough, the colors are matching, and the ship design. I mean, you're probably not an expert in ships, as far as I know, unless you have a background skill there. It's foreign to your experience of Mesotopian ships.
That's rather interesting.
As you all approach, none of the four people, the two sailors and the two longshoremen, seem to notice your approach.
This will be when I will speak up. And she will say, I couldn't help but overhear your little argument regarding the prices in which transactions are made here on the port. Unfortunately, as I'm sure the longshoremen could attest, they don't make the rules.
What business is it of yours?
She would look up at all of them.
An Imperial, and you got that from an Imperial sailor.
Yep. She would look up at all four of them and smile under her mask. She's like, it is fitting of the Mistress of Death to watch over all of her subjects.
The sailor goes the other, Mistress of Death? Thoroughly you jest. You'll have to give some other authority than just that. Now, do you work here? Are you the boss of these men?
Like, I could be.
And the longshoremen look at you, and they look at the sailors like... Now all four of them are looking at someone who just walked up to them with a mask on, calling herself the Mistress of Death.
Yep. It's like, could it be that you four do not believe me? I'd be more than happy to prove myself.
Is there a particular one that seems to be the head of the pack in all this?
You have two burly longshoremen and you have two burly sailors, and at this point in time, they're looking at each other's partner, and they're even looking across at each other, like, what?
It's the individuals who are the foreigners that grab Jade's eye. She looks at them and she reaches out internally, her thoughts expressing, and she ends up expressing this thing inside, this want of, well, try and imagine how horrible it gets, these visions of themselves, bad things, very, very bad things, as they are staring upon this Mistress of Death that has approached their presence and who they've so grievously disrespected. And she just brings this into their thoughts and sharing with them, as they do clearly show no reverence to that which gives and takes life.
Are you, with that, are you invoking a spell or an ability?
This would be the Awakened Mind.
Okay.
Oh my god, yes.
which one are you targeting? Since there's 4 targets.
You end up saying there's 4 targets, but only 2 of them are from the Shadowrun Empire, right?
Yes, from the Shadowheart Empire.
So the larger one of the Shadowrun Empire, the one that seems a little bit more sturdy.
So, Celine, you have 4 sets of eyes on you, and the one that's furthest from the stones upon which you stand kind of drift over and fall on Jade. And he looks down at this wretch. I mean, you're getting this look of kind of disgust. What's your problem, Mithy?
My problems. No, that's not the concern. That's not on the table. It's not on the table. Not on the table. It's you did this disrespectful thing. It's odd, very odd. I don't know who ends up having the wish to do such horrible things. Horrible things.
You there, Longthorman? Do you have this rabble just walking about, sullying up your docks? We've paid good docking fees to you. And, well, can you shoo them along? Go on, shoo them along.
Selena will raise a brow, and it's just like, I would not do that if I were you.
Say, you should totally believe her. I saw her yesterday. Someone was going to die, and then she saved them, and someone else was brand new, and she made them life. So she totally has control over life and death. So you better believe her.
Oh, this is because she's some big Mrs. Death? And the both the longshoremen are kind of like, I mean the longshoremen are kind of like, and the two Imperial sailors are just like going back and forth, and they're now standing kind of like burly side to side. Look, lady, we just want to unload our cargo.
Well, of course you can do that, but you must pay the prices that they dictate. That is simply how it is.
The one big one continues to flick his eyes up at Jade. And kind of leans down. The other one kind of nods. Looks over at the longshoreman. If this is the type of service that you have at the docks, well, others are going to hear about it. We'll pay your exorbitant fee. And he pulls out a bag and Tim. And the longshoremen take the money, and one of them takes it and goes back, and the other one and the 2 sailors go back to the ship. We expect prompt service. And for the at least with the 15 of history, Bright, you would know that the imperial dialect of the common tongue does tend to replace the S's with THs and other slight verbal modifications. So they're speaking common, but this is just their take on it.
So it's a weird take.
Okay, the 3 on the dock. What are you doing?
I believe our work is done here. We should meet up with the others. And with that, she's gonna turn and head in the direction of the tumbled wench. And once they're well away from the docks and from the sailors, she's gonna glance to Jade and then glance to Bright, and then she's gonna giggle to herself. I can't believe that worked.
Well, if you can't make it, fake it.
Until you make it, mashing it into a hole to make it fit. Besides, your claims are not hollow, right? They're not hollow. They're dead if they try. That's just the fit.
It's like,
So
very much right.
to represent that Raphael and Tazray are at the Surly Girl, which is more of a dive. Doc, can you place their tokens at the wood pile outside the inn? Because that's a little bit more reflective of the ramshackle conditions. And then the other three... Oh, Chemison! Thank you very much for that. So Chemison, by the way... Ooh. Chemison gets some favor here. We have... 2 medium favors for Chemison. Thank you very much for that, and hopefully you're being entertained out there, Chemison, and everyone else watching. Thank you for that donation. Okay, so let's head back over to Taz and Raph, who are at the Surly Girl. What are you doing?
Well, walk into the Surly Girl. What do I see?
As I was describing, there's people hunched over tables. It's very, to call the place dimly lit is definitely a compliment. There's no music. There's some hushed whispers. Maybe you'll hear like someone slapping the table at a joke. And there's 2 figures behind the bar. One of them is tending the stock, and the other one seems to be cleaning glasses. There is a woman who is running back and forth between tables and some back kitchen area. And if the establishment is not named for her, then by sheer coincidence of planetary alignment, they have found the perfect waitress for this place. Because she looks like a surly girl, all right. Very burly, has some tattoos, looks like a no-nonsense lady.
Alright, I go up to
the girl.
I go up to the bartender.
Yes? What do you want? Something on the menu or something not?
Just water for right now. Don't want to get wasted just yet. I have to get my hands dirty a little.
What kind of water do you wish to have?
Clean water, hopefully.
Yes, we have 2 kinds. We have clean water and we have river water. River water's more expensive. It'll take the smell out of the place in your nose as you drink it.
Just clean water.
It's not quite as big as my pitcher here, but you get a mug. Look, 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 look. It looks clear. It seems wet.
I take a sip of it. And
1 copper, please.
I realize that I don't have gold anymore. I look over to see if my dragonborn friend is around.
Taz?
What is the most underground drink you have here?
So before they answer that question, because as you look around, he is then asking. I guess he's asking the other person who's maybe checking the stock, this question. So Taz, Raph is addressing you as you asked this question to the person who had his back turned to you as he's like arranging bottles on the back, and he just sort of looks over at you and kind of gives you a bit of a sneer.
What? I mean, no matter Tevin, I want to get messed up.
I believe your friend is asking you for a copper as he doesn't even appear to have one for his water.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, the alcohol just made me really space out. I haven't drunk anything and just looking at it. Oh, I'll hand him a gold piece. I'm a nice guy.
Do you expect change?
Yeah, you can keep it.
Surely. Oh, you can get the VIP seat if you wish. It has 2 lamps and is actually well lit. You may yet keep your wallet tonight. He bites it to make sure and flips it, boing, catches it, puts it in his pocket. And I do believe that you, my draconic friend, wish to face oblivion head on, correct?
Absolutely.
Very well. I have something that can help you along the way. I'll have it served to your table. Why don't you go have a seat?
Okay.
And he puts his 2 fingers in his mouth. I can't personally do it, but he gives the whistle. And the surly girl herself comes out of the back. Doesn't say a word. He just makes kind of a hand and head gesture, and she comes up to you all, kind of grunts, and has you follow her over. And sure enough, you're sat down. Both the wicks and the oil lamps are turned up, so you're actually sitting in a corner of the restaurant. So that your backs are you're in a corner of a restaurant, so you don't necessarily have to watch your backs, and you have good light around you.
All right.
Dude, we're like celebrities.
Now, for the sake of time and such, as the party is split, what are your intentions in this place? What are you looking for? Just to get messed up, to get information, or
Find
to
rumors.
pass time? What's that?
Listen to rumors.
Rumors? Taz?
Oh, Taz getting messed up.
Okay. Let's do this then. Taz, your task is going to be a lot easier than Raph's.
Okay.
I'm just going to narrate. You are brought out a cup that has a clear liquid, and for a moment you swear that it must be like a pureed jellyfish in the cup. Like, it doesn't even slosh. It's sort of like maybe has like the consistency of Elmer's glue, right? Like a school glue, except it's clear. But it has a wonderful, very fruity smell to it. And you are told that it will. This is going to get the job done, and and the surly girl is telling you this herself with her very husky voice. And on top of that, she tells you to make sure you swallow hard. She doesn't want you to choke on it.
Hey man, Spiritus for quitters.
And as you tilt your head back, and there's just that moment where, you just see this clear, glistening something like sliding down the tankard, ready to just hit your muzzle. And fortunately, you don't get that thing that happens when you get an icy, and there's the last little bit at the bottom of the cup, and you're like, hey, come on, you tap it, and then you get a face full of icy. That doesn't happen. But you do get this like slow trickle that just kind of like goes down your gullet. And what you've effectively imbibed is a kind of a thick pudding-like banana rum. And it coats. Like, as it goes down, like, all the alcohol, it's not even just going to your belly. Like, your trachea, like, your throat is absorbing the alcohol. Your stomach is, as it's just sort of, like, syruping its way down into you. It's like an alcoholic banana syrup that you're drinking.
Ooh.
So, Raphael, Taz seems thoroughly delighted with this substance. And, yeah, right, it's a very slow burn, Coffee Cat.
So like,
Oh, and coffee, by the way, for Raphael, since we didn't get to salvage last time, Coffee Cat is cashing in his his boon here, so we'll take this off to give you some sort of a benefit to gathering rumors here.
Awesome.
So there we go. We have this happening. Let's see. So that being said, Raph, what is your background skill?
My background skill?
Yeah, do you remember we talked about a unique skill that you picked up, like a knack or a hobby along the way?
Yeah, you called it weapon flare.
Weapon flare, okay. We'll do this. I will let you choose where you wish to invoke this this blessing from Coffee Cat. But I'm going to have you roll a. I'm gonna have you roll a perception, then a persuasion, and then an insight. As we are trying to. Well, no, hang on! Don't do it yet! Don't do it yet. I'm telling you what we're going to be expecting, so you can choose at which step you would like to invoke Coffee Cat's blessing. Okay. Because you need to try and, is there anyone even talking about it? Can you even perceive anything? If so, then can you? This is kind of a shady place. Can you get them to open up? And whether or not or so, can you read into it if they're lying to you or something along those lines? Right. So that'll be up to you. So at this point in time, we're going to disregard your 412, okay? Knowing that your first step, because you want to try and figure out some rumors that are going around. Actually, we could probably even throw in an investigation on the back end. So this is going to be like a mini skill challenge of 4 steps, okay? We're going to start with a perception. Do you wish to use Coffee Cat's blessing here?
Yes.
Okay, in that case, now go ahead and roll your perception at advantage. Nice. Hey, there you go, Coffee Cat. You've opened up Raphael's ears. Eyes and ears, anyway. Oh, thank you for the follow, Ram. I hope you're enjoying the game. Feel free to roleplay. If any of you, by the way, out in chat want to have murmuring conversations or whatever, you're welcome to do so. Have fun playing along. But thank you for that follow. All right, so Raph, you cash in, and you certainly hear that there are several tables looking for rumor fodder. You pick up something like Empire. You pick up maybe, well, with a 19, that's pretty good. You think you hear Empire again, but as you kind of lean into it kind of discreetly, instead of Empire, the word is vampire. So you're picking up on Empire, vampire, and you're picking up on cedar, whatever cedar is. And that's it for what you can get. So you have Empire, vampire, and cedar. Which would you like to approach and then make your persuasion in order to try and get them to open up to you?
Vampire.
All right. So you go over to the vampire table, and as you're walking up, the couple people sitting at the table are looking up at you. You, what do you want?
Overheard you guys talking about some interesting stuff.
What business is our business to your business?
Hey, maybe we can work something out here.
Oh. Business we're
know.
talking. Well, business we can conduct. The sun may be down, but the shop ain't closed.
So, you guys were talking something about a vampire?
Maybe we was, maybe we wasn't. Yeah, there's a lot of talk of an empire. And he seems kind of like...
I'm fairly certain I heard vampire, though.
Here you can make a normal persuasion, though I do want you to role play through how you want to, like, how do you want to convince them that you're worth talking to, listening to, opening up to.
All right. You want me to roll it first or roll it after?
Roll it after. Make your pitch first, and we'll see what happens.
All right. Look, if there's a vampire in the loose here, me and my friends probably need to know. I mean, listen, nobody wants to end up dead, right? I don't want to. I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to either. If there's a vampire anywhere near here, we are in trouble.
Oh, you some specialist, huh? You a hunter?
In sort of a sense, I have combat experience, and my friend over there, I look over towards Tazare. So
like he's trying to shake the last drop of this like syrup rum out of, you know, he's like kind of sticking his tongue up like, this is probably looking really lewd, by the way. Feel free to clip this at home and embarrass me later. But he's like, I gotta get the last bit of it.
Granted again.
I pause for a second and go, actually, I don't know about him anymore. I go, we have a group of 6 people that guarantee we could probably take care of it.
Somewhere bright is sense the disturbance in the force. Okay, so Coffee Cat, playing the part of a fickle god, kind of gives your horns like a tuning fork, kind of bing, and you're resonating apparently rather well. You are going to get advantage on this persuasion.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll.
Yep, roll it. Perhaps you are. Though I ain't got coin to pay you for the services. We're just talking about what we know. But maybe you know something that I don't, and we can trade, huh?
All right.
Have a seat.
Suppose the trade. I take the chair and spin around backwards and sit in it with my arms folded across the back.
Now it happens that we know a little bit about vampires, and I'm a little curious about what you know about what you know. You've come to trade, not trade.
Oh. What do you mean? What do I know?
What's our information worth? If you ain't got coin, I saw what you did at the bar. You made the drunken dragon pay for you. Nah, trade with us then, huh? The old barter, it's what we did before the coin was made.
Well,
Look, we may look rough and tumble, but we're a fair lot. We gotta look out for each other. But nothing's free. Nothing's free. We'll tell you something.
Huh? What exactly are you looking for, though? Are you looking for... Do you want to trade gold? Items? Or would you want... bodyguard for a day? What?
Oh. A bodyguard for a day. Oh, that could actually come in handy. Actually, yes, there might be a man that could use your services. All the more fitting that perhaps we let you know about the little vampirical invasion we have going on.
All right.
He proceeds to give you some information. I'm going to fast forward again for the sake of getting the party back together at the Tumbled Wench here. And also because we're working with a bit of a limited time frame for everyone. And so he opens up about some of the rumors that the vampires are supposedly people who are not native to Mesomasca. They're almost like they're being shipped in. And that the rumors of vampires started no more than 3 months ago. Though how long they've been operating before rumors started to spread, no one can tell you. However, these vampires do seem to have an agenda of their own in some capacity, and have been disrupting. They've been disrupting trade, but they've been doing so, as far as these fellows are concerned, and whatever you think of them and their opinion, kind of equally across the board. You know, they're not favoring one person or industry to rob over another. And by rob, that's more the generic term of disrupting, stealing, killing, taking, whatever. Now, from all of this information, as I'm taking you on this mini skill challenge, you can roll an insight to determine perhaps what may be truer, falser, or you're getting the intention of things. 19. Okay. The fellow who's sitting down, as far as you're concerned, is telling you mostly truths. And what might not be true is simply because he doesn't have knowledge. Now, you're not getting an awful lot of specific information from him, but you are getting a good breadth of, he's saving you a bunch of time hanging around in a lot of different bars. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's a distilled rumor monger, whereas Tazray's exploring the distilled banana monger.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, in the back, Taz is woo.
Ref, you might have to guide me. I don't know if I can walk properly. You know what I'm saying, man.
And fortunately, Tazray, if your mug tips over, you have a couple seconds to try and actually scoop it back in before it actually spills. All right.
He's loving this place already.
Now, he has told you his lot, and he says that if you are to make good on your end of things and offer to be a bodyguard for a day, you are going to need to meet someone at a place called the Tumbled Wench. And have you heard of it? I presume yes.
I have.
Ah, that's good. That's good. I'll tell you what. If our business is completed and your friend back there is thoroughly pissed, then I believe that we'll why don't we give you an escort? Ironically, for you to be a bodyguard. But we're going to take the back entrance in, if you get my meaning.
Interested. He nods his head.
Your friend, though, well, we'll show him the proper way in first.
What?
Tazray, a table of men that Raphael have been conversing with for some time, they all get up and come over and collect you and say that they're going to bring you to the Tumbled Wench.
Don't
Okay.
worry, they'll take good care of you.
You better not be lying to me.
Not at all. We're not liars. Tell them, Raphael.
Everything they've said has been truthful so far. I don't understand why they would start lying now.
You put a scratch on that man's beautiful face, and I'll have my axe between your legs.
No scratches at all. Both of you will be delivered 100%.
Thank you.
All right, now, for our three who have already gone to the Tumbled Wench, you see that the Tumbled Wench is a nice upper middle class bar and inn. Not a bar, like it is an inn. There are rooms to stay in. You are seeing lights up in the several stories. You're seeing some silhouettes even, and fortunately Bright is pink enough that I don't know if she blushes at such things, but it'd be a little bit difficult to tell. But you are actually hearing song and warmth and merrymaking coming from this place. As you approach, you do see that as it sits on the river, and it's called the Perfumed River for a very distinct reason. As you're getting closer, there's just this flowery smell that just it overtakes you. It's not super strong. You're gonna throw up in your mouth like, like someone took a perfume bottle right up your nostril, but you just get this flowery scent. As well, you can see that there is a wheel in the river that is connected to something inside the tumbled wench, for processing, maybe for mashing or other things to brew or to otherwise pound or whatever. And along the wheel is the art for the namesake of the tumbled wench. There are several drawings of a very busty lass that appear to be tumbling forward with some pitchers, and she dunks into the water and comes back up, and dunks into the water and comes back up, as she's continually tumbling ever forward into the river and coming back up with full pitchers of liquid, anyway.
Well, I'm really surprised about this river. Usually when something is called the Perfume River, it smells like poop.
Yes,
Actually, it smells like perfume.
a breath of actual fresh air to not be smelling raw sewage.
Yeah, that was a lot more down by the harbor.
I am grateful we are no longer in the presence of low tide.
You make your way inside the tumbled wench, and some cinematic magic as we go inside the wench. Yes. There's a little band playing. There's several serving girls rushing here and there. Everyone seems lively, and you are getting some sailors, but you are also you're getting some of the locals as well. And you go in. There's people who are laughing, playing games. And you're seeing a very burly sailor sitting across playing a game of chess. With a man who has kind of wild white hair, and he's obviously a sailor, but maybe he's a townie. Like, he's not dressed as a sailor would be. But they seem to be enjoying themselves. The lamplight kind of flickers off as he's kind of laughing or talking. Giving his eyes like a golden flare, and a serving girl comes up to you all. And she is dressed similarly to the painting of the woman who's eternally tumbling on the water wheel outside. And she looks at you all. Eating? Staying?
All of the above.
I'm just gonna hand her the note.
Oh. I'm not so good with letters. I'll take you to the desk, though. But by the way, my dear, and she is a human. She's, I don't know, mid-late teens. She's taller than you, but she's not like towering above you, bright. As she looks down, she says, "Oh, you have gorgeous hair. Oh,
Thank you so much.
how did you get it so pink?"
Pink. I'm just a pink sort of girl.
What? That's natural. She leans down really close.
Did you think I was a halfling? I get that a lot.
Well, no, I'm actually just kind of curious. I've heard things, and well, some of the clientele here like this or that, and are the curtains matching the carpet kind of a thing?
Seems like everyone in this town is a gnome fetishist. Why are there so many gnome fetishists in Mezamaska?
My dear, you're everywhere here. I'm sorry, just between women, I had to know. Some people, I hear that only whores use rouge. Real ladies pinch their cheeks.
Well, let me show you what I can do, and I'll minor illusion and turn my hair bright green.
Stars and garters. Well, Well, if that isn't impressive, well, come on, all of you, and I'll show your letters to the manager, to the night manager. Come along, come along, and she takes you, over to a desk, and there's a man who is getting someone checked in. You can see that there are hooks with keys on like a pegboard behind. There's also like slots that have room numbers, and there's some items inside the different slots, etc. Guests, I can only presume, or patrons, or both.
And Celine's just gonna hand him the note.
Oh, well. Oh, well, you come with credentials, don't you? Oh, very well. Yes, I can certainly give you the captain's discount. How is the lad?
It's not too well.
Not too well.
Descendants are still finding their place again.
Oh.
It was a rough time on the sea.
I imagine as it's not seasickness that, perhaps the insides were coming out in a different way.
They were trying to slither their way out. They were escaping the ribcage and deciding to took exception to their attempt.
It's okay. He got better. Celine helped him.
Well, I can certainly put you up. I can't put you in individual rooms, but, wait a minute. It says here, though, that there are 5 of you, and I only see 3.
The other 2 decided to go off somewhere, but they should be meeting us here shortly, I'm sure.
Oh, well, I guess I could give those 2 a room. Well, if one of you might get a room to yourself, 2 of you can double up. One will get the other, and the stragglers can get the other room. I'll leave it to you to decide who's where. But and he turns around.
You don't take out much today.
He does ask each of you for 1 silver as a down payment on the rooms, though.
Yeah, I'll pay him a silver.
Silver? That's so much money. Don't you trust us?
I do, and the captain does. That's why it's only a silver.
Who's first?
I'm sorry, say it again.
To see the rooms first?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no problem.
That way.
And you, ma'am? He's trying to look through your hair and through your mask. Ma'am, are you, would you like to pay your silver now, or do you need to see a room?
Let's see the rooms.
Jade?
Oh, I was just going with the fact that Bright kept wanting to say, we'll see the room. She just insisted that that's what's going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Jade doesn't like talking to
Oh,
people.
gotcha. Okay. Sure. And, you know what? Just for consistency's sake, I don't want to do extra accounting. I do that bloody work all the time. Celine, you get your silver back. I know you're good for it. You already gave it to me once. You can give it to me again. He gives you a sly little wink, turns around, and he takes you upstairs. And you find very middling rooms. They're clean. It doesn't have brand new furniture, but it's not decrepit. There's no apparent spiders or roaches or beetles. There's a bed, a nightstand, like a table, a chair. There is why am I derping on the name? So you can go to the bathroom at night. A chamber pot. There's a chamber pot. It's clean. The room doesn't smell like it's been occupied. And there's no mysterious stains anywhere. So
Give her the silver.
Oh, you're giving the manager the silver? Aha! He bites it. The rest of you, are you content?
Yeah, I'll give him the silver.
And you, ma'am?
No.
She backs away slowly and just looks at the other two, and she seems to be in disbelief. Like, no, 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 no.
Ma'am, is there a problem?
Yes, yes. Problems, lots of problems, lots of problems, lots of problems.
It's okay. She's with me, and I'll give him another silver.
I'll let you work it out, but please don't disturb the neighbors.
I'm just gonna give the camera a look. Please don't disturb the neighbors. That's really what you just said.
Yes. He tells you that there's a free breakfast of some bread, butter, and some like a hot potato soup, and you are enjoy. Otherwise, you can order what's on the menu downstairs. He suggests that you stay inside during the night, as there are unsavory characters that are oot and aboot. The manager leaves you alone. You have a down payment on the rooms at the blessing of the captain.
Jade at this point waits for the man with the coins. Now his coins ends up walking away at this point, while Bright may be waving away or such of the like, as I imagine her very uppity attitude will end up allowing her. Jade kind of leans in, these hands kind of creep on her shoulder, maybe just tugging a little bit at her hair. Her mouth is uttering a bit of gibberish, trying to express something, but in that point, Bright may feel that sensation, a conflict of fear and gratitude that mix that idea of handing a bloody coin back into her hands. And if she turns, she might see those wild eyes looking back at her.
Okay, I'll turn.
Okay. Yes, and no, that's not. She's lets go for a second and kind of touches your hair, kind of feeling it, and then feels her own and looks at it as though she's just aware of it at the first time.
It's okay. You can tell me.
By the way, Bright, you have keys to room 211 and 213. So you can split them up as you'd like.
I want you to try and imagine, Bright, that you are the scariest thing that Jade has ever seen in her life, and she is absolutely petrified of you.
Okay. Scary. Sometimes I do scary things, but I'm not scary. They're not to me. I see things worse than you every morning. Be afraid, and you don't have to feel bad. We can be good friends.
The pink one wants to be friends. The pink one wants to be friends. Is that what he would have done? Is that what he would have done? She starts to mutter to herself and then realizes there's a third person here. Oh, right, the lady, the mistress of death. The mistress of death is also here. Don't make them angry. Don't make them angry. They'll kick you out.
Okay.
They'll kick you out.
Mind if she was the mistress of death to you? Bad.
Wait, what? What it is, Celine is kind of watching on with, slight curiosity and a slight little bit of apprehension because, well, she has no idea what's going on. But she doesn't seem angry, not in the slightest.
Paying close attention to Celine, so I'm probably not going to react to her.
At this point, with the three ladies working out what they need to do, I'm going to cut over to the two gentlemen who are approaching. So if you want to work stuff out through text or something, I don't want to stop your role playing, but in order to help keep things moving along, because we're almost at our midpoint, I want to get things on the page again.
Fair enough.
Okay. So while the ladies are working out their room assignments and look, who's gonna have the sleepover? Did you get parents' permission? Are you guys gonna just stay up all night eating popcorn, talking about boys, whatever? The guys are coming back, and Tazray, these wonderful gentlemen who've been able to tell you all kinds of lewd jokes and stories of when they've they punched a man, they got a good sucker punch in. You always go for this, that, or the other. So it seems like they've been in a tussle before. Their techniques are a little bit dirty to you, or kind of like street fighting techniques. Going for weak spots and such, but at least they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They bring you in the front door and they tell you, "Welcome to the Tumbled Wench. Whoever you're here to meet, well, look, just go talk to the manager and maybe he's seen him. We and our friend Raphael here have to discuss things further. Don't worry, I'm sure you'll see him later."
Okay. Yeah, I better.
Oh, your audio cut out, Tazray. Yeah, after you said "you better."
Really.
There's a little robot action going on.
Yeah, it's kind of turning tinny and robotic.
I said that it's like you better. I've got some stories to tell them. All right, we got big long tails.
Are you telling that to Raphael or the escorts?
So the escort.
Oh, plenty of tales, plenty of tales. Now just go on. You need to sleep. You had a little bit too much rum.
Yeah, I had the perfectly acceptable amount. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to, and he's gonna kind of almost fall and kind of turn around and kind of walk towards the little desk here.
Okay. Night manager's there. Sir, can I help you?
No, I think you might have seen my friends. One's got pink hair. I'm pretty sure she ain't hard to miss.
Oh, say no more. Yes, I think I know exactly who you're talking about. There's not too many more of those, although I'll tell you, whatever she did to her hair has all the girls talking. They all want this same stuff too. Anyway, I'll take you up to him. Look, you and wait. They said that there's 5 of you. Where's the other one?
He wanted to go talk to like 4 really shady people. I didn't listen. I'm too drunk to care.
What a great friend.
Oh,
He's drunk.
all right. Well, why don't I take you up to the nice ladies, and I'm sure that they can talk to you and make sure that that you get someplace good to sleep. Tell you what, he's talking very simply and he's enunciating to you here. You give me 1 silver, and he looks at you again. 1 coin like you, and I will give you a key in your hand and show you where the pretty pink lady is.
I'm just gonna give you this type of coin. He's gonna place a gold on the table. You can keep that. You can keep that change.
Thank you, sir. I will make sure that you are well taken care of.
Thank you.
And he bites the coin, flicks it, catches it, and puts it in his pocket. And he leads you up to whatever these 3 have gotten themselves into. If any of you have been reading at home, they've been role-playing through it text-wise. So you've been able to see it. You've been able to see it down here. It's like the last 3-4 squares at a time. So we now have Tazray, who is being folded into whatever's going on. And so between the four of you, there are now 3 keys. You have 211, you have 213, and then you have 302. So one of you gets to be on the 3rd floor in the first room by the stairs. Now, as for you, Raphael, the gentlemen are going to make good on the fact that they're going to take you to the rear entrance of the establishment, and you are going to slip in, and they are going to introduce you to the person whom you can provide a service for a day in exchange for the information about the vampires.
All right.
Presuming you do not find any daggers in your kidneys, are you fine going into this shady entrance to the back of the inn?
I'm gonna be cautious, but yes.
Okay. Well, good luck for you. You do not have any daggers in your kidneys. What I'm going to do then, since we just hit 1 here, this is our halfway point. Why don't we all get up and take a break? And a little bit through you, Raph, or I can even send you a whisper on Discord. I'm going to give you some prompts about things, and then you can play them out as things occur. Will that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be fine.
All right. So everyone, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Get up, use the restroom, get a snack, a drink, do whatever. Hold your pet, your significant other, whatever. And we'll come back at, it's 1:03 a.m. my time. Why don't we just call it 1:15 a.m.? We will resume.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Or so whatever your local time is, whatever, 12 minutes from now.